So the one place to start here is extending the concept of elasticity, which is the responsiveness of one variable to really any other variable. We did it initially with what's called price elasticity of demand, where we measured the change in price in percent terms with a corresponding change in percent quantity demanded. But that concept, again, can be extended to any two variables. We're going to learn three additional kinds of elasticities that I just want you to be familiar with. The first is price elasticity of supply. And here we're measuring a responsiveness of a percent change in price to a percent change in quantity supplied. So it's a corresponding measure that for buyers would measure how buyers respond to price changes. The price elasticity of supply is the measure of how sellers respond to price changes. And do they respond a lot or by a little? And I think the idea here will be familiar with the graph interpretation, which is under two basic scenarios. You would have an inelastic supply or an elastic supply. And so the case is that can sellers as a group, as a whole in the market, respond to changes in the price? So in the inelastic supply, a given percent change in price leads to a corresponding smaller percent change in quantity. Yes, they follow the law of supply, and quantity supplied increases with price, but by to a lesser than proportional amount. And over here on the right, with the elastic supply, the given percent change in price leads to a more than proportional change in quantity. The two main determinants of price elasticity of supply, like what makes supply more inelastic or elastic, is the first is time. And so over more time, a given seller or a group of sellers in an industry can respond to price changes more so. And one way to sort of think about that would be if the prices were to change suddenly, an industry may not have the capacity to build another factory right away and to produce more output. But over a longer period of time, supply becomes more elastic. And the second main criteria might be just the general flexibility of the seller to reposition resources in order to produce the supply that they're doing.